What is up, everyone? And today I'm taking a look at this right here, and what do you mean it's not done yet? Yeah, no, I can't review that. Oh well, backup plan. So this right here is a kit that needs absolutely no introduction, but I'm gonna introduce it anyway. A lot of you guys have asked for this. I've done multiple different variants of the Master Grade Astray, but never this one right here. I've done the blue, I've done the Astray Noir, I've done different variants of the P-Bandai red frame as well, but I've never done the full release one, which is the red frame Kai. Honestly, this is one of those kits that's pretty much a not to be missed kit. If you build Gunpla, and especially if you build Master Grade 1-100, this is a staple. This is one of those kits that really did define Gunpla when it came out first. Straight built, this kit is nigh on perfect and again holds up so well 10 years after its release. And even though, like I said, there is a whole bunch of different variants of the Master Grade Astray, nothing is quite as eye-catching as the red frame. It takes the awesomeness of the Gundam aesthetic while at the same time simultaneously looks completely different. This is an iconic design, and the Master Grade is an iconic kit, but that's enough about that. Let's get right into checking it out. Or not! This video was sponsored by Boxu, a monthly snack box subscription service that delivers original assortments of premium Japanese snacks and tea pairings. Boxu honors Japanese heritage by working with 100-plus-year-old family snack makers to deliver authentic Japanese exclusive snacks to your door. Every month you will receive a box with a different theme, so the snacks will always be different. It's a gourmet journey through Japan. Previous themes included Haunted Harvest, Tokyo Summer, and Winter in Hokkaido. A new themed box every month shipped from Japan, with free shipping to the US. I lived in Japan for 6 years and I love the summertime. And of course, the summer snacks. This month's theme is Summer Matsuri, Japanese festivals in the thick summer heat full of delicious food, cold brews, and massive firework displays. For round 1 in this boxu, there was kakigori gummies based on the iconic Japanese summer treat that is shaved ice, squishy dango mochi, and wasabi flavored potato snacks, my second favorite thing in this box. Delicate, crunchy, with a huge kick of wasabi, all washed down with some Oku Kirishima green tea. Round 2 was Dora Choco based on Japanese dorayaki. There was 4 in this box, but I caved last week and ate 2. Fizzy hard ramune candy, roasted corn rice crackers, and my #1 favorite thing from this box, pudding a la mode sandwich cookies. Honestly, this was the most decadent, complex flavor I've ever tasted in cookie form. Absolutely blown away. In round 3, there was takoyaki corn puffs. I ate these by the thousands when I lived in Japan. Addictive is an understatement. I never knew taste could be fluffy. Not texture, the actual taste of these butter mochi senbei is fluffy. A fluffy, buttery taste. Mesmerizing. In the 4th and final round, I stared down one of my least favorite flavor combinations ever, banana and chocolate. But of course, the black magic of Japanese food wizards somehow made that combination work, and work well. Finishing off the boxu was a gigantic Choco Monaka, light crispy wafer filled with bubbly chocolate. First-time customers will receive this Seasons of Japan box that takes you through Japan's 4 distinct seasons while taking you through an Epicurean journey across Japan. Also, this month's boxu has a special promotion. In addition to the 20% off your first box, you have a chance to win 2 Fandango movie tickets for Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. Terms apply. Use my code MECHA20 and don't miss out on this special promo. So getting straight on into it, and I will mention that this was pulled right off the shelf, so that does mean a couple of things are not here, so this was not built specifically for a review right now. But what does come inside of the box is a pair of katana, that absolutely ginormous tactical arms, and 2 of these segments for attaching the katana onto the sides of the thighs. As for the only thing I don't have right now, for in this box it's one of these, which is one of those old, smaller style action bases, except, you know, it wouldn't be in clear blue, it would have been in red, but I honestly have no clue where it is. I specifically remember using it for something, going, I'm going to use this really temporarily, and then I'll put it back. And I never put it back, and I have no idea where it is now. I'm sure it'll turn up sometime. So yeah, just like this, but in red. So anyway, jumping right on into the aesthetics, and what can I say? This kit is 11 years old. This came out in 2010, and it does not show it whatsoever. It doesn't even feel that way either. This is a kit that has stood the test of time and stood it well, and that is down to its very unique build. There are some elements in the legs of this particular build that I've never seen in anything else, and that is kind of some small plastic ABS pegs that kind of hold everything together in such a solid yet awesome sort of way. When it comes to recommending master grades, I usually say when you're on this side of 2010, you're definitely going to get yourself something awesome for the most part, 90% of the time. But go before 2010 and things start to get a little bit sketchy. As for 2010 itself, this thing must have blown minds back then, because it's awesome. This thing rocks surface detail, some nice clear parts up in the head, an absolutely mesmerizing look, with one of the most badass yet simple Gundam color schemes around. Now I will mention for the most part there was nothing done to this kit whatsoever. I just built this really quickly a few years ago, and that was it. Nothing else. I just panel lined the head just before the review here, but even with nothing extra done, this kit looks phenomenal. So there is the Master Grade Red Frame Astray, spinning around the full 360 so you can see absolutely every angle for yourself, and as usual I will throw up the art on the right hand side. Now every now and then when you look at some kits versus their art, there is a lot of change involved, usually to make it more, I guess, model kit acceptable. There seems to be a particular standard of style when it comes to model kits. When Bandai tends to make mobile suits into model kits, sometimes they take away a lot of the stylistic elements. For example, big thick parts, shorter stockier proportions, they tend to realign them with the general model kit look. But this is almost, and I mean 99% in line with the line art, which is always awesome when you're shopping for a kit you love from the anime that you love. At this point I'm starting to ramble. Yeah, it looks awesome. Moving on. On some size comparisons, there it is side by side with the Granddaddy, so the red frame is one lean mean machine. Next up there it is side by side with the Master Grade Blue Frame D. Now this basically stress tests the Master Grade Astray to its limits and beyond with the amount of equipment on it. Beside the thick Gundam that is the high resolution red frame, and beside a completely random Master Grade, which is the Jester. So jumping right on back to the beginning of the review, there's everything that comes in this box, ignoring that blue stand because it should be a red stand, but as for everything else, let's check it out. So the first equipment we have in here is a pair of the Red Frame's iconic weapons, which is its pair of giant mecha katana. How badass is that, honestly? What are these, like 15-meter long swords? That of course is the Gerbera Straight and the Tiger Pierce. So we've functioning scabbards for both. And the only negative thing I could say about these is the gold on them doesn't look that great. But I do have this pretty good gold Gundam marker right here I could use. Actually, I will use this. It's got, well, the Red Frame Astray's face literally on the marker. Well, I think I've got no choice. Well, I'm actually shaking this thing up right here. This is the pack it's from, which is the Gundam Marker Gundam Metallic Marker set. As you can see, we've got a bunch of different mobile suits on there, and one of them is the red frame, except that is not the Kai, but hey, this is a good gold. So it turns out, past Mecha Gaikotsu glued this together, probably because they're quite likely to fall apart. I may have glued this together too, actually. So, I'm just gonna have to not screw up. So yeah, and a little bit of a test of this paint once again to see if it actually makes that gold look a little better. I just blobbed it onto each of the parts pretty quickly. I'm going to set it off to the side now to dry, and in the meantime, let's check out those tactical arms. Or that tactical arms. Those, either way, let's check it out. So speaking of those tactical arms, what can you say? This is a mighty, great, big old red piece of plastic. Actually, lots of pieces of plastic stuck together into a giant monolith of plastic death. This is one of the coolest gunpla swords out there, without a single doubt. So anyway, of course, the first way to equip this is in sword mode. So I will mention that these old style hands, these ones right here, which have 3 fingers attached, a free index and a free thumb, these are notoriously bad. The main reason is because the little peg in the palm is the only thing that holds weapons in. And this can tend to degrade over time. Every time you attach weapon, detach a weapon, it will break down that little peg in the palm, and eventually your kit will not be able to hold up its weapons anymore. So I do recommend not taking it out and in too often. But when it is attached, this is undeniably awesome. The second option then with this sword is mounting it in sword mode up on the red frame's back. To do this, you just have to attach on this big black adapter segment, and that just pops onto that peg sticking out the back of the Astray. Simple as. This is quite heavy, so it can knock your red frame over, but it's not as debilitating as when it has to hold it in its hand, so able to stand up, just at a bit of an angle towards the front. So the second mode then we have with the tactical arms right here is the arrow mode, which is basically a big old bow and arrow. So this is the second big old Gundam bow and arrow we've seen in the last couple of weeks. The other one was the one that came with the high grade Cathedral Gundam, but this one packs in one hell of a cool transformation. You pull some parts, you fold some parts, pull some more, twist some more, and there you go, you got yourself a big old mecha bow and arrow. Once again, as you'd expect, this cannot hold itself up. The arms on the Astray are a little bit too weak, however it is held in two hands, which makes the hold quite secure, so once you get it up on an action base or something similar, this holds up pretty good and looks pretty cool to boot. You're meant to have a beam saber in this box as well. I have no idea where I put that, so I'll just use this as a proxy for the moment, and just imagine it looking like this, but a little bit more awesome than that cotton bud Q-tip thing. So when this isn't being used as a weapon, we've got a variety of different backpack modes, which is awesome. The first of which is the V mode, which is the standard, basic, ready for action mode, basically like a big old stored mode. The next mode is pretty simple, you can just fold it from the V mode right on into it, and that is the Delta mode. This is to use the, French thing. I may absolutely butcher this word, but, that one in French, like, voiture luminaire? But yeah, basically what the Stargazer Gundam can do. Lastly then, we've got a flight mode in here, and in order to change this into the flight mode, you need to take it off and flip it on the other side. Then you just do a bit more of this, that, and the other, fold things around, and you end up with this right here. Now, I will mention the biggest down point for me for this kit is the particular sized holes that are in this for attaching it to an action base. So if you do not have the actual action base for this, you may have a lot of issues. I tried a whole bunch of different adapters, they just did not work. Thankfully, while looking for said adapters, I found the actual base for this kit. So that means I can actually finally get this up on a stand with the backpack in the flight form. So that is exactly what it looks like right there, and that is pretty cool. It's almost doing the job of a striker pack now. This is one of the coolest gunpla accessories around. It does absolutely everything, and makes me want the blue frame with its tactical arms to check that out. So finally, we might as well check out how that gold paint turned out, and definitely looking pretty good and a lot better than that gloss metallic injection plastic we have in here. So after assembling the sword, putting it back together and slapping it on the red frame, I think this looks a whole lot nicer, honestly. For something you just slap on really quick, just let dry and then attach on, this is, yeah, that's a good gold. Anyway, there they are side by side, so you can make your own opinion on whether or not you like the bare plastic or a quick old rub with the Gundam marker. So anyway, that right there is it for the review, and I'm not sure what I've rated other red frames before, but I'm just gonna rate this what I'm feeling right now, and this to me is gold tier. A kit that has stood the test of time fantastically. If you've never built yourself a master grade red frame, I recommend that you do. Sure, there are some other master grade Astrays out there, but there's something about this one. It's so iconic looking, it's pretty much perfect, and oh, by the way, if you're wondering about the whole articulation part, I've looked at this kit so many times. Go check out another one like the Astray Red Dragon if you want to see what sort of moves it can pull off. But anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews. Thank you to Boxu for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you next time. As always, thank you so much for watching. These videos would not be possible without you guys watching these videos, so thank you once again. And special thanks, of course, to those of you who are supporting me on Patreon and over on the channel memberships, including Van Fawn, Tyler Sanders, Sean T, Mr. Winter, Lauren Seahack, Joseph Kukluk, Global Frequency Studios, Caleb Engelhardt, Bakito Official, and Craig Jerry.